guess it's January, so that makes sense. There you go. It's snowing. It wasn't supposed to snow today. Queen of Peace. I thought I would come stand out here and write a song, but I don't see where I would stand. Lady Medjugorje. January 22nd. That's today. 2012. Huh. 9 years ago. This person passed away on this day. Well, this is just a statue in loving memory of, but that feels kind of strange to me. That I looked at that plaque on the day of. Or that I parked in front of it on the day of. Feels strange about that. No, I don't actually feel like she won't mind. It's probably something positive. Just make sure I write a loving God-filled song if I'm gonna leave my phone on a statue of a saint. Fifteenth chances, or 17th maybe. It's clear by the way I feel right now that there's so much to be glad about. It's clear. Choices are the whole point, but I feel so much love for you. You and all the things that you love too, and I don't know if I will be back again here, but I'll choose the best things that I can. Try to be what we need to grow in time together, and I'll try to be what we need to live this life like a family, a little family of two, maybe three or four. If you count the dog, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 if you count the dog. Okay. That's because I might want to adopt a kid someday. And I already promised Brian we could get a dog. Well, there's a song. That was really cold. Someone's coming out to take pictures. I thought maybe she was coming out to this statue. But it honestly just seemed like a strange coincidence. You really can't wear fingerless gloves in the middle of January. You really probably shouldn't play ukulele outside in the middle of January. Yeah, my fingers kind of hurt. Getting in the car. Can't have as good of like outdoor pandemic adventures when it's the middle of January. Whew, much warmer. Good job, car. Whew. Okay. Could write one more song, I suppose. That kind of hurt. I could do a keyboard one. Get that heat going. Alright. Well, beauty is very related to conditions. And I suddenly feel inspired to say that out loud. Like a place can be, or a moment can be, or a situation, a relationship can be visually beautiful, looks good on paper, and you know, if I took a picture of this moment right now, you might be like, oh, beautiful, I want to be there. But you know, me telling you, trusting my witness, my testimony, no, you don't want to be here, it's freezing. Maybe come in July or even May, you know, even April. So I try to learn from nature. I think I need to do more meditation and less talking. Some people are like, oh, meditation, talking meditation, like talk therapy. It's like, no, talk therapy was never good for me. And there is no real such thing as like a meditation form of therapy because, you know, I feel like I'm stuck. Hang on. I am stuck. I'm stuck on. Is that as far back as it goes? It can't be. Probably is. But you know, meditation wouldn't be therapy because no one would be talking. If I weren't talking, someone else couldn't just talk and tell me what they think I need to hear. I've tried so many different types of things where I just listen to people and it doesn't get through because it's on the wrong points. It's like points I've already worked through, or points that aren't my sticking points, they're someone else's, and then I just end up wanting to help you because I see you working something out through the guise of helping me, and then it's like there's very few people in this world who, when they speak, it cuts like I was gonna say a knife, but it's not a knife. I just got a tickle in my throat, like a pinprick, kind of like that tickle, like an acupuncture needle, right through. Like it's very hard to get in to me. Most things don't, or most things that I hear or talk about with people don't. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe I'm either too much like a pinball or too much like a brick wall. I have no idea. Anyway, we're gonna play one more song. Trumpets. I could do a trumpet song. Maybe not. I love it. When you are waking up to all of the ways that you've been before now. When you are growing up to all of the ways you've dreamed about how you would be by now. sound 68. I had to stop just to say that. Also, I realized I was having guilt and weird feelings about how I don't record with good audio. I just make these phone recordings, and I don't really like being home in my studio making up songs. I don't really get much out of it. I guess I did the one weekend that I did really love that was the weekend that ooh, I just noticed my Tascam has like a little sticker on it to keep the screen protected. Cute. I was about to peel it off, and I was like, or I could just keep the screen protected. Anyway, the one weekend I really loved just writing original songs in the recording studio was when I made up the album Make Believe. That was a weekend in November in 2017. And I wrote 23 songs in 24 hours. And it was really fun. I guess maybe the reason sometimes I feel like I'm catching up on projects is because I'm trying to clear out this backlog feeling of my heart feeling heavy, like I owe the world or I owe myself something. And you know, if you're gonna become a lo-fi artist like I accidentally became, then you kind of gotta like make sure you don't have any other big dreams that you skipped over. And in my case, the whole reason I became a lo-fi artist was because I didn't have the courage to release this very high quality album that had been sitting in the pipeline for years at the time. And I was mad at Trump and mad at the world, and I tried to put out the high quality album. I started to, and I didn't get very far and didn't feel like I could do it justice with everything I was feeling, and so I just moved on to other things, namely the 365 Songs in 365 Days Challenge, which was almost exactly 4 years ago today when I announced it, my inauguration of my project. I started it on 2/12/2017, but I announced it on Inauguration Day. And it's just, you know, that's 4 years of my life given to lo-fi dreams and weirdness dreams, all while sustaining my mental health the best I could during a Trump presidency, which I hate to make such a big deal out of him, because in a way when you make somebody a villain, you give them more power, and I understand that. You know, look at Moriarty or whatever in Sherlock and all that, and it's just like when you consider somebody an equal match, you give them power, and I know that. You give them power in the eyes of others, which is maybe all that power is. Power is what others are thinking, all collectively, and we're all living out this collective dream together in our minds, and whatever people collectively believe is what kind of becomes true, which is why people chase coolness and popularity, because that's a collective dream vision that a group of people might be having. What, like if it's an indie coolness thing versus a mainstream coolness thing. I don't know how this works. Sound 68. My very unhealthy new habit while losing weight. My weight gain from birth control, followed by my weight gain sustained and continued from Trump presidency and eating 1 or 2 soft pretzels every day for a while because I was so upset. It became like food addiction became my best friend instead of having to pay for therapy over Trump. I was so upset. I'm still upset, but I'm just not letting it affect my own body anymore. And I've always felt like a thin person. And these 4 years of being a not thin person, it doesn't mean you're judging fat people any less by carrying weight that doesn't feel like you. Like I felt ashamed to be someone who wanted to lose the weight and be thin again. I felt too ashamed because I thought that was a judgment on fatness. And the thing is, when I see women in TV shows or in real life say something about being a big girl, and I see the look of pride on their face and I see their joy in being a big girl, I'm like, you go, girl. Like, it makes me happy. Like, I am so happy. I love big girls. Like, I'm like all into it. Like, I think it's great. But the feeling I felt in my skin towards the end of these years of being really fat, for me, I mean, I'm carrying, or it's less now because I've been really diligent now about not overeating, not using overeating as my coping mechanism anymore. Which means feeling a lot more, which means being in my heart a lot more, which means feeling every little tiny feeling. But for me, ever since I was a kid, I saw myself as a sort of average build. I have big bones, but I'm not, like, I have an average build, but I'm 4'11". I feel like a small girl. Like, I don't resonate with the concept of a big girl. Nothing in me does. And yet when I would see some pictures of myself, especially 2018 and 2019, which is how I know it wasn't just the birth control, because that was 2016. It was the Trump presidency, and it was doing all these challenges to avoid thinking about the Trump presidency. Creative challenges, if you haven't followed along, which is fine. The 365 songs in 365 days, that was roughly 2017 to early 2018. Then 12 albums in 12 months was sorry, I just suddenly felt like very full of myself, and it's all on YouTube. You can check it out. Why I even do these things, I don't know. Talking to myself on YouTube is probably a coping mechanism from living where you don't feel like you belong, trying to make something work that isn't what your soul feels called to, doing it for reasons that are very true to your heart, but being a chicken in helping it move forward any faster, avoiding conversations. There's so many truths that are true. Here's one more song. Take me with you when you go forward in time, like a longitude meets a latitude line, like a point on a map. It's growing true, truer and clearer than you wanted to yet. Even though you talk a big game, all the things that you say you won't, you don't want them yet. I know you better than you know yourself, dear. Girl, I know you better than you know yourself here. Be clear in what you want, and be clear in when you want it to, dear, 'cause that's what makes things true here. You gotta be honest with your time, otherwise it's all a lie. Be honest with your time. Don't lie about where you're meant to be. Make a plan like a prophecy from God, but then hold its hand and let it breathe in your heart, like a prophecy from God made for future times. But you gotta hold that light, future times. But how do we hold that's all you think about. Take a seat, you're not in command here, 'cause you don't understand the plan, dear, and you never did, you're just the messenger of God, you're just that crazy, odd little thing, telling stories with your mouth. In time, I can have a bunch of words out of your mind, but you gotta hold the light, don't let it out, hold the light, don't let it out. Hold it inside, hold it in your mind. The things that I write are like surgery from God, ripping band-aids off, pulling out thorns. It takes a lot of scorn. You're gonna take a lot of scorn, pulling band-aids off, plucking out these thorns. You're gonna take a lot of heat, you're gonna get a lot of scorn, it's gonna feel like hell, ripping you inside out at times. It's gonna feel like pliers in your mouth or knives in your skin, but trying to save your life, it's gonna feel like hell. It's gonna hurt real bad deep down in your soul and your guts and heart, and you won't know the difference. No, you won't know the difference. So just get it out, just let it out, just get it out, just let it out, 'cause you won't know the difference, 'cause you won't know the story, and you won't know the difference, 'cause it is not your story, and you won't know the difference, you won't know the ending, you won't know the story. No, you won't see the ending, clearly it's here. Clearly it's here, like a vision from God, like a prophecy you didn't need, that you wore like a story for a coat, like a prophecy you didn't need, that you wore for a story for a coat. It wasn't yours, but you believed it. It wasn't yours, but you need it. You need it, you need it. It wasn't yours, but you believed with all your might. You believed it. It wasn't yours, but you need it. You need it. You need it. To have something to do, to have something to say, choice, but being alone was the only place you didn't have a voice, 'cause you killed your own story. You killed your own substance from God, 'cause you had to, for them, for you, for them, for you. And it's okay, it's just what's true. It doesn't have to be what's true, what it is, what's true right now. And it will never not be true. These 15 years like lies, and you carried this mouthpiece from God like a trumpet, like a storm at end times, and you hold the light, hold the light. I'm sorry, don't understand the value in a word that says guilty, and a word that says you failed me, and a word that says I hate you, and a word that says how could you, and a word, and a word, and a word, and a word, and a word. So I gave my voice to him and her and him and her and him. Who needs a voice? I just need my heart. I need my skin. I need a compass. I need a map. I need a God to hold my hand or hold me back. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What is that? Is that clouds? Right there? No, right here. Is it? I guess so. It's capturing the sky. It's just dirty windshield, or is it pink though? Oh, that's clouds. It's very meh outside. Well, it's 5:30 and I'm randomly an hour south of home because this is where I come to think straight. I do this instead of using drugs or anything. Whatever is your weird habit. Weird is better than self-destructive. Weird and harmless is better than not weird and harmful. If you're trying really hard to fit in, but you're harming yourself to do so. Addictions, vices, self-destruction. I'm trying to learn not to destroy myself, but it's really hard. I've been on a high horse for a little while, and something happened recently that knocked me down, and I really haven't recovered. It was a couple weeks ago. It was pretty bad. Right around the time of the insurrection. Random QAnon people storming the Capitol and all the other weird conspiracy theory cults. they all collectively believed that there was going to be like a coup and a takeover and end times and all this stuff, and it was like pretty creepy. I'll purposely kind of stay out of the internet. If I ever seem wholesome to the point of like naive or stupid, that's why. Understand that I'm an adult and that I could do research on all kinds of things, but adults are also allowed to buy cigarettes and watch porn and other stuff, and I don't do any of that. Like, I understand what things, like what other people call wholesome, I call like helpful. You know, like porn would not help me, cigarettes would not help me. All of them seem to serve some sort of pressing need, and it's like they all lead to greater problems and create greater need. So it's like, sure, a cigarette would cause you to relax for a second, and then now you don't know how to relax without a cigarette. Now you have a pressing need for more cigarettes until it's an addiction. Same way if you don't know how to be happy without alcohol. And then what started as a couple drinks with friends to have fun when you otherwise didn't know how to have fun anymore becomes alcoholism. So I don't drink. I mean, I will have like a glass of wine every once in a while. I'm not a fundamentalist, although I support that if that's what you need. But I'll have a glass of wine every once in a while. And I live in a legal state, and I'll have a puff of weed very rarely once in a while, but they give me like strong visions, and so I don't really like it. But once in a blue moon, usually by myself, so that I don't pick up the mood of others, and I don't know. I hope that didn't seem judgmental. That got me thinking about like native cultures and passing peace pipes, and I don't ever mean to sound judgmental. I'm really not trying to be in my wholesome ways. I'm wholesome, but what is this? You know, this is probably an addiction. Writing songs is probably an addiction. Like, why can't I just not write songs ever again and process my feelings like a normal person, you know? So I think everything crosses into addiction territory when it goes from being helpful to being harmful for yourself. And if this were to be a habit that made it so I couldn't work my normal job or live my normal life, if this were an invasive habit, then I would think that this is harmful. But so far in my life, so far in these thousands of songs, this is a habit that makes me able to cope with things that I otherwise think maybe I couldn't cope with. But who knows? I mean, if I ever feel called to do a non-songwriting chapter of my life, I'll do it. I try to not be a fundamentalist on any topic in any way, but also I try to not expect myself to be above humanity. Like, whatever, we all have vices or things we need to do in order to be okay. And I have a real problem historically with thinking I need to somehow be better than my own humanity. Like, if you have addictions or you like to watch Deal or No Deal and snack, like, I used to be okay with that one until I was really just tired. I mean, something snapped in me. I'm just like, I cannot be fat anymore. I just can't. It hurts my soul. Like, it's physically uncomfortable. It hurts my heart. It makes me sad, and I know it's cutting like 20 years off my life because I could feel health problems coming from it, and I couldn't be as physical as I wanted to be activity-wise, and there's so many reasons. And so I just started making changes. I've actually been trying to make changes for about 8 months now, but most of them weren't really working or making a drastic enough change for me to feel hopeful and stick with it. So I won't say the changes I'm making now because they're just depressing. I mean, they're just super drastic because it just comes down to like, I was looking for ways to have my cake and eat it too. Literally, good metaphor, Jess. I was looking for ways to still have the habit of, you know, I think they call it fog eating. I was still wanting to have the habit of like watching TV for a chunk of time and just sitting and snacking, and that habit would numb me out mentally and emotionally and even physically, and I would feel it, and it was great. I loved that habit. I've had it since childhood. But when I was a kid, it was regulated by parents who watched what I ate, you know, because that's what all parents do for kids. And it was regulated in college by wanting to be skinny and wear skinny dresses and go to skinny formals and be hot or whatever reason. So it was regulated a lot in my 20s for those reasons. And the only times that I've ever fully given into this like comfort eating, anxiety eating, is when I was on birth control and had a steady boyfriend who I knew loved me. And so that's happened 3 times in my life, and this time is the worst by far because I know my boyfriend really loves me, but also because of the Trump era, and also because, you know, his comments about a pageant contestant having put on weight. I was so angry. I've never been that angry about anything political in my life, I don't think. Like, how that wasn't the end of it. Well, obviously that, I shouldn't say that. I mean, obviously the stuff with disabilities too, but it just was like, all of it. It's all, I can't remember which one came first, to be perfectly honest. I feel like it was the pageant contestant, and that's why that one shocked me so hard. I've never like cried over politics before, because I remember feeling like, how is this not ending his campaign? And when it didn't, when people still rallied behind him, I was like pretty much horrified. Like, this is a disgusting man. How is this happening? But personality politics. A little too much like Idiocracy for my taste. And 1984, but in a much different way. Okay, I'm done talking about that. That makes me depressed. Anyway, so yeah, eating differently. Still gonna be some middle-aged woman who happens to write songs alone in a car. It's not like I'm trying to be hot. I got my boyfriend. I got my quiet little introvert life. Got this sunset. Oh, you probably can't see it. Dang it. It's not reflecting the right way. There. Woohoo! Alright, well. I don't know what any of this is for. Who this is for. I don't know why I'm sharing any of that, but there you go. Behind the scenes with Jessica and the Rainbow. Woohoo! Bye.